My name is Shelley Coulter, and we are in Kansas City, Kansas, at the Kansas City, Kansas School Foundation for Excellence, which is in support of the Kansas City, Kansas Public School District. We service 20,685 urban core school students, and we actually are 80% on free and reduced lunches. I've seen too many young ladies and young men who were with children, and they were 12 and 13. And I wanted to see why. And so I actually started out with a preschool fitness program because I actually wanted to start from babies, to start with their gross motor skills and start teaching them and the parent on how this is how you start out with a firm foundation. And that grew very large, and I handed that over to someone else because it got too powerful for me and I wasn't ready to step away from my job. And so then I started volunteering because I seen teenagers that, if for some reason teenagers just love being around me, because I have 2 children. And my children, every time my home was the home to come and get fed, was the home to come and if they needed hair care, the home to come if they just needed somewhere to talk or relax or not even say anything, just to come in and get a meal and just feel comfortable. And I kept saying, how are we getting these children drawn to me when I wasn't living in that atmosphere? But it's for some reason I just always had a lot of needy children that were from broken homes, or their mother or father was out on drugs, or it was an abusive situation, or their grandparents were raising them, or the uncles and aunts were raising them, and they still needed that motherly, just that nurturing. And so I just started volunteering, and I started a program called Power. And power meant for purpose, originality, worth, encouragement, respect. And I designed a shirt, and next thing you know, people were wanting to purchase the shirt. Foundation's been around since 1990. It started out with a golf tournament, and with that golf tournament they said, you know what, we just want to give out 2 $500 scholarships. So the guys who created this foundation loved to play golf. So for the past 18 years, that's just what they did. They played golf. Well, it was like now we've seen other foundations who are giving scholarships out. You know, I'm talking about 4-year scholarships. So they decided, you know what, let's increase. Let's see what we need to do to make this foundation workable. Make it, you know, put some framework around it. See what the need is. Let's go inside. Let's hire someone. So my predecessor, they hired her, and she was more or less in the community. And so she was seeing the need of, you know what, we need to get outside the community, but she didn't have the resources. So her and I volunteered to help with a young women's group, which that's what I normally do, is just volunteer. I had a full-time position at a company, whereas that was my main pay. And I decided to volunteer, and she liked me. She's like, I need you to work for the school district. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Well, I started researching, seeing what the need was, and said, you know what? She says, we have a position for a marketing specialist. Would you please apply? So I applied. Long story, I came into the district, seeing who I had to market, and seeing the needs. Now we have, from a year ago, we did start out with 12 $3,000 scholarships. Now we doubled, more than doubled. We're at 32 scholarships, 12 of them $3,000. 9 of them are actually 4-year, $2,500 a year. But then we needed to see where the need was. We need to prepare our children to be able to sustain these scholarships and have all the tools to be a well-rounded child. And that's where the need is. I started with one school, And when I walked in, they had the sagging pants, and they were walking the hallways with disrespect. And at this school, they had 200 pregnant teenagers, and about 50 of them were on their second child. So I said, this is the school that I need to be at. And that school was where I graduated. And so I spoke with the principal, and at first he was like, very defensive, like, And so when I had to let him know, this is your house, and we're all here to work together, but this is what I see where the need is. Do you agree with me? And so we started a community show. And so I went into a class where it was just disruption. And it was the media class. And I said, I said, he said, these are the children that they couldn't find what to do, what classes to put them in, so they put them here. So I started working with children that didn't know anything about how to be a producer, how to be a cameraman, how to edit. And we started a community show called Positive Perspectives. And so I decided, I started changing the board of who we had for the foundation. And we had to take majority of who was on there off. I was running it like a business. I needed people who could write a check for $10,000, can say, well, can you match me on this? And this is not what I don't know how, but this is just, it came into a dream. And that dream, I actually just said, this must be what I'm supposed to do. I have introduced these urban core students to their dreams. We started what is called the realities, the heart of an athlete, because I've seen that a lot of our children feel that if they are an NBA player or a football, NFL, or soccer, that's the way their way out, but they don't understand how to get there. You ask them, have you done the NCAA eligibility? Do you know about core classes? How are your grades? That's when it stops. So most of our children have gone to community colleges because they don't have to worry about SATs, ACTs. They can just go. But you know what? We have so many talented children that if they were educated to know about this, then they could leverage that education by this gift that they have, because they have to have an end plan. So we have workshops now called Realities, the Heart of an Athlete, where Bill Self is he's actually on board. I actually have Will Shields, who is a Hall of Fame he's an ex-Chief player, and he has the Will to Succeed Foundation. David Stevenson from Dallas, Texas came. Jeremy McCool from NCAA, the actual director, flew in from Indianapolis to become a part of the Kansas City, Kansas Public School District, our students. So on my journey, I have children that we have graduated, and I want to make them a whole child, not just, every child's not ready for or prepared to go to college, but they have to have life skills, and we're not preparing them. We have a whole lot of work ahead of us. My goal is to, whereas every child that graduates in the Kansas Public School District graduates with a scholarship. And it can happen, but you have to believe. First of all, we're starting to show them what they have to do to actually be responsible for a scholarship. We can give them a scholarship, but how are they going to keep it? And I told them they can't leverage their situations now. You can't go through life leveraging that. Oh, woe is me. No pity parties here. You can't use it for the rest of your life. You can't. You're going to have to learn to, okay, I'm going to learn from that. I'm going to use that as a strength. I'm going to use that. And I'm going to be strong, because if I can endure that. See, our children don't know how strong they are. If you can endure what you're going through now, life is a piece of cake.